Hey everyone, this is Jeff Cockrell, Dale Carnegie Master Trainer, Certified High Performance Coach, founder of Veteran Academy, where we help veterans break the code on success in the civilian world and then help equip them for that mission, and founder of Coaching Mastery Community, where we help coaches increase their increase their impact by building coaching mastery and business mastery within a supportive community. Sorry, I had a prepared blurb and I kind of spaced it out. And thank you so much. This is day 7 of our 60-day Dale Carnegie Challenge, where I commit to show up every day and talk about one of Dale Carnegie's principles from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, and also How to Stop Worrying and Start Living. And today we're talking about principle number 7 from the book, which is principle number 4 from the section 6 Ways to Make People Like Us. And this is one of those two-parters. It's got 2 imperatives that we do. And I remember when I walked in to talk to John Jennings. He was one of the franchisees that I worked for with Dale Carnegie. Now, the guy he'd been previous mayor of a town, and successfully he'd taken a bank from basically kind of the branch size to basically selling it off for I don't know how much money. And every time I would go talk to him, he'd be there working on his computer. And then I'd just wait a second or two, and he'd say, hang on just a minute, and he'd finish up whatever he was doing. He would swivel in his chair, put his hands in his lap, and say, okay, what do you got? And then he would listen without comment or interruption until I was done. He might ask questions to clarify, but he never interrupted me to ask those questions. He just listened. And, it's interesting, a couple of things. First, I felt guilty a little bit for taking up his time, so I wanted to make sure that I was concise and on point. And I always felt like I'd been fully heard. And it was amazing how much it really sped up the process of communication. And that goes to the first part of Dale Carnegie's principle, which is to be a good listener. Because so many times we're not good listeners. Let me ask you, what is the opposite of listening? When I was asked that, my first thought was, well, talking. It's not. The opposite of listening is not listening. The opposite of talking is not talking. Here's the rub. Listening, not listening, and not talking all look very similar. We've all had that person who was not listening, but because they shut up, we thought we were listening. I remember several years ago there was a commercial, and there's a guy reading the paper in the morning, and his wife comes out in a pair of slacks. She says, "Do these make me look fat?" And without looking up, he goes, "You betcha." And of course she, "What?" And then storms off, and then you can see him kind of go through in his mind, "Oh my gosh, what did she ask? What did I say?" And so many people go through life that way, where we're really not paying attention to what people say. We're just letting them talk, and then we're going on about whatever it is we're doing. And when Dale Carnegie talked about this, it's a skill set we have to develop, and it's be a good listener. The second aspect of it is to encourage others to talk about themselves. Now, we don't always have the time to do that. When we're talking about building rapport, getting people to like us, that's when that aspect of the principle, I guess it would be over here, that's when that aspect of the principle really comes into play. But in order to do that, we have to work on the first one, which is to be a good listener. And when we become a good listener, and then we're focused on building rapport with people, then we can begin to ask better questions. So many folks are looking for I need this strategy, I need some series of questions to ask. No, just pay attention. Be there in the moment. Be present with the person. Listen to what they have to say. Listen to what they're not saying. Listen to how they say it. There is so much information that is being transmitted by somebody who's speaking, because yes, a big chunk of it comes through body language, a big chunk of it comes through tone of voice, and a big chunk of it comes through the words we use. Now, I know that people will throw out these percentages. 55% is all body language, 38% is tone of voice, only 7% of the message is the words we use. That's really not what Dr. Albert Mehrabian was saying. What he's saying is when we're not congruent, we're talking about the impact of the message. If what we're saying doesn't match up with what the other things we're projecting, like tone of voice and body language, then our message is reduced by 93%. Think of 55 and 38 is 93. And if it was true that that 55% of our message came from body language and 38% from tone of voice, no one would have to learn a foreign language. We could just act it out and people would get it. But they don't, or at least they get 93% of it, which is enough. Heck, most people don't understand 93% of the message. What he was talking about was the impact of the message, the way it's received. And if we're not congruent, then yes, we do lessen the impact significantly. So that's a separate issue. What we're talking about here is making sure that we do everything we can to pay attention to that person, to be present in the moment. And if we are looking to build rapport, to ask them some additional questions based on what they said, so that we can really understand them at a different level. And so that's what the challenge is today. I've got 3 challenges, and I'm going to look down at my computer, make sure I got them. Okay, first one. Someone comes in to talk to you, no matter what you're doing. If you can't stop right then, think about a stopping point. Say, okay, just hang on just a minute. Finish up whatever you're doing. Turn and face them. Put the computer out of the way, the phone down, look right at them, put your hands in your lap and say, yeah, tell me. Try that. That's one option. Second option is to, when somebody is talking with you, to wait 1 heartbeat before you start talking, which means they have to stop. You cannot interrupt. You have to wait until they stop. No matter how angry and frustrated you may be, you have to wait. Wait a heartbeat, and then you can respond. Or the third option is when we've listened to someone, ask a question to go deeper with them. So if they, hey, what'd you do this weekend? And they talk about it, they get done and then say, so why'd you choose to do that? Or really, why was that interesting for you? Or what did you like best about it? Ask another question about what they've talked about. So that would be my 3 challenges for today. Turn away from your computer or whatever it is you're doing, chopping onions, whatever, and really focus on them. Take everything out of your hands and just be there. Second, make sure that we wait 1 heartbeat before we speak. Or third, when they're done, ask a question to go deeper. Pick one of those, let us know. And by the way, thank you very much for the engagement and for sending these on to people that can help, because I think we've gone from basically like 3 or 4 people in our first poll up to about close to 50 now, and we're just on day 7. So that only happens because you folks are sending it on. Thank you so much for doing that. In the meantime, please take care, have a great day, and knock 'em alive.